As you can see, this is the star of today's show. It is not a pretty brisket, but hey, I'm gonna be doing what I like to call a super trim. The first thing to do was to remove a good amount of the fat. Don't worry, this is not gonna go to waste. Then I started to shape my brisket, first cutting one side and also rounding the edges. And as far as the point goes, I like to remove all of the fat on the top. As once I was done, take a look. Now this is a perfectly trimmed brisket. Notice that the lean part still has a good amount of fat, but as far as the fatty part, I removed all of it out. Trust me, it's not necessary. But what is necessary is to season this properly. So for that, I started by seasoning with a good amount of salt. Notice that I'm getting every single edge, also both sides. Once I was done, take a look. Perfectly seasoned brisket. Now remember, this is not a prime brisket or a Wagyu brisket. We need to let it dry brine. This will not only give time for the salt to penetrate deeply, as it will also help tenderize the meat a little bit. So into the refrigerator you went until next day. And once it came out, take a look. The salt is completely gone. That is a sign that the salt is nicely and deeply in there. Now remember, we can't just season a brisket with salt. We also need black pepper. I mean, take a look. Perfectly seasoned brisket. As now, the only thing left to do is to go ahead and smoke it. For that, I took it outside and set my smoker to 275 degrees Fahrenheit. Threw my brisket in there and let it smoke for a total of 4 hours. Once the time was up, I took it out and take a look at this. I've never seen this before. However, it's not fully cooked yet. We need to go ahead and finish it off. And for that, I'll be using aluminum paper. Placed my brisket right in the middle and wrapped it as tightly as possible. We don't want any of the steam to escape. As now into the oven you went at 275 degrees Fahrenheit until nice and tender. After about 3 hours, I took it out, quickly unwrapped it, and it was perfectly cooked. And here's something I've never done before. I wrapped the whole thing in clinch plastic really tightly. Then I stuck it in my refrigerator overnight. And if you want to make a beef Wellington, you have to have the Excel. And to make it, it's super easy, and here's how. Into a food processor, I threw in some baby portobello mushrooms, followed by garlic, a little bit of salt and black pepper. Processed everything on high, then immediately dumped everything into a pan. Cooked it until the moisture was completely gone. And this is what I was left with in the end. Now the only thing left to do is to build that brisket beef Wellington. So I started with some clinch plastic, followed by Parma ham. Don't forget about the mushroom duck salad we just made, our beautiful brisket which was rested overnight in my refrigerator, and then slowly started to wrap the whole thing. You really want to use clinch plastic to tie everything up. It ensures that everything is going to have a nice tightly presentation in the end. Talking about presentation, the next thing we gotta add is puff pastry. And look what I had to do. Combine a bunch of them in order to wrap the whole thing. So right on top my brisket went, and just like before, I slowly started to close the whole thing up. And I did not forget the edges. So I placed it back on some clinch plastic, closed everything up, and twisted as much as I could so everything can combine together. At this stage, you really want to let it rest in your refrigerator so everything can combine. After about 30 minutes in there, I took it out and placed it on a cooking sheet with some parchment paper, as now I had to give it a good egg wash. I went ahead and grabbed another piece of puff pastry, and I'm gonna put this tool to use, as it will give me a nice design. However, it is not as easy as you might think to use it. You see, this thing gets stuck, so you gotta have extreme patience. Not only that, it does not cut 100%. You still need to have some help with a knife. But hey, in the end, all you really have to do is to place that design right on top, add a little bit more of that egg wash. If you want to be extra like me, just add a little bit of flaky salt right on top. It is looking beautiful. The only thing left to do now is to stick it in the oven in the bake setting at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And after about 45 minutes, this is what I was left with. I mean, take a look at this thing. The perfect smoked brisket beef Wellington. But I was very nervous to find out what the inside looked like. So I immediately went ahead and started to slice. And as I did, oh wow, this looks perfect. Remember, it is not a Wagyu brisket. It is a choice grade, not even prime. And take a look at how juicy it is. To be 100% honest with you, at this point right here, I was extremely excited. I could not wait to find out how this thing was gonna taste, because at least to me, it looks perfect. So enough talking, and let's see how it tastes. All right, everybody, here we got our beautiful brisket Wellington.
I wish the audience could smell how good this is.
I'll be honest, I'm a little bit excited, everybody. As soon as I cut that thing, I was not expecting it to be this deliciousness. I'm excited. Now here's the deal. I grabbed this Wagyu here just in case it was gonna be not juicy enough, but I don't think I have that problem,
yeah,
okay?
It doesn't look like it.
Exactly. And I'll be honest with you, this is the thickest brisket I ever cut in my life.
She thick? And she's juicy.
Damn right.
Oh God.
All right, you know, let's go for it here. I want your 100% honest opinion. That thing is glistening, Leo.
Oh my God, it smells so freaking good, guys.
Oh man, mine has like a little heart.
Man, this thing is
There you go. You got a heart. When the brisket is glistening, everybody, you know it's a good way to go.
I'm trying to think of a jingle.
And
When the brisket is glistening, my belly is listening.
there you go. That's a good one. All right, we're gonna give you guys a true, honest review. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers. Cheers.
Mm.
Oh my God. That is fucking delicious.
Today, cursing is allowed. Okay,
Oh my
no problem with the
God.
cursing. Wow, what is that?
That's a 10 out of 10. That's a 10 out of 10.
I recommend 100%, everybody. It is so delicious right now. I don't know how to describe it.
The smokiness is what brings it all together though.
Yeah.
It's what made it perfect. Damn, that's good. Okay.
The smokiness is really nice, but for me it's the textures.
The texture?
Like, I just love biting through that little crunchy puff pastry. Then you get that nice, soft, tender brisket, and there's a little bit of creaminess because I see there's some mushroomed XL here. Phenomenal.
I will never cook a Chateaubriand again, everybody, as a beef Wellington, because this is amazing. Absolutely amazing.